This is a foreigner in the Philippines, and we're going to have a little accounting of to try and bring us up to date on what's happened with the collapse of everything with NISA and that issue, that problem. So we're actually going to try and do that, and the grand accountant is here with all of her figures down to the centavo, and so Miss Elizabeth.
Yeah, I'm sure that there's a lot waiting for this, right?
Oh, I'm sure they've got their calculators out
Yeah.
and they're just waiting for you to make a mistake.
Yeah, we're in roll call time, and to those who sent a gaps and your name is not been called, let us know, okay? Yeah. So get
So if
ready
you're
your pen, get
right, so
ready your calculations,
if you're not here, let
and
us
get
know. Okay.
and get ready your paper. Yeah, so this is all the amount that we gathered. It's come up to 412,828.63 pesos. Okay? So these are the names. As I said, to those who are not been mentioned, let us know so that we can trace up your names and where did you send it. So we got Rob.
Now, can we just explain? Can we just explain that? Didn't we have somebody that suddenly turned up
Yeah.
and said he sent $1,000?
Yeah, he said. I also noticed that guy, that over cutie. I think during the Lisel's video, the Lisel and Dondon,
Yeah.
she also comment and said I sent around 300 or something like 300 or $500 like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are these? Is he a phantom donor?
Yeah, and now the other day she comments, says I sent $1,000. So
Yeah.
we need a proof.
Well, we need the money.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
Once you say that you've sent the money, it would be nice if you actually have sent the money. Okay,
Yeah.
that's always handy. So
Yeah, so here, so we got Rob 14,497.32 pesos. William 1,100. Connie 972.27. Little Bit Rich 4,375.24 pesos. Donald 972.27 pesos.
so these are the separate payments
Yeah.
that you made. Some people gave many times. We haven't done what someone else may have done and totaled up
Yeah.
the payments that each person made. We're just giving you the payments that we received because those are the receipts that we have. So
Yeah.
if we get something from anyone, there's usually a piece of paperwork.
Yeah. So this from Australia, it's 35,738.75. Gary 1,941.60. Redirect 4,203.23. Clay 3,889.60.
Now, just to remind you, some of these names are code names
Yeah.
because not everybody wants to be named.
Yeah. So John from Nova Scotia, Canada, 5,049. Edna 2,433.11 pesos. Shane 1,454.75. Erlen 2,346.10 pesos. Jeff and Jocelyn 2,000 pesos. Larry 4,850. Imer is 2,500 pesos. Alex 6,137 pesos. Shirley 10,000 pesos. Tracy 1,215 pesos. Prolock 5,000 pesos. Christian 11,275.08 pesos. Philip 740 pesos. Charles 4,819.98. Stephen 3,089.30. Duke 971.30. Marshall 10,043.90 pesos. Rosano 9,000. Little Bit Rich, he sent gaps through GoFundMe, and when it arrived in our bank, it's 91,634.40. Tom 2,478.25. Harald, 4,165.20.
Right, now we should also mention on this that when we're talking about these amounts, obviously they're in pesos.
Yeah.
And the pesos is dependent on the exchange rate that we get through the particular payment system. And sometimes some of these payment systems, like I don't know, apparently Western Union are not so good at giving a good exchange rate. Sometimes it would be over 49 that was being touted as the exchange rate, and all we'd get from Western Union would be what, 47.5 or 48.
Yeah, it depends.
It would really depend. So
yeah,
just to clarify on that.
yeah. And then Kevlar, it's 20,826. So when I also sent through GoFundMe, and when it arrived in our bank, it's 20,826 pesos.
When she says it arrives in our bank, it's a certain figure.
Yeah.
That's because GoFundMe takes how many percent?
There, I don't know how much the percent, because there are
I'm not sure. I think it's 5%, but I'm not sure. So they take
no, there's some additional charges. So when I just look the bank, some fees on that. So
Okay.
that's how I get that amount. So Mike, it's 4,165.20. Then model, I remember she don't want to be she want to be anonymous, but I want to give the name of model. It's 83,304. And then Steven is 3,000 pesos. Chuck, 14,569.27. Ben, 2,400. Dan is 4,836.99. Jeff, 1,000 pesos. Donald, 1,249.56. Napoleon is 3,123.90. Terry, 833.04. Allen, 4,165.20. Exa, 10,413. Ian, 1,042.62. Rab, 4,165.20. Allen again, it's 4,842. So the total is 412,828.63. As I said, if your name is not there, let us know. So, what?
There was one name there that I just wanted to mention. There was one name there, Ben. Somebody said that was a fictitious name or something, or an extra account, and that he didn't exist, or it was us. Well, it's not. And what was Ben's contribution? What did he send?
She sent, actually it's $100, 50 to us and 50 to Nisa. So he sent.
So that's another thing that we should mention, is that some of these payments, they are actually designated as being so much here and so much there, and some of it is like Ben said, he sent 100 and he wanted 50 to go to
Nisa, and 50 to us.
And 50 to us. Believe it or not, it does cost money to do what we do. All of the running around we do in the truck, we do take some gas money.
Yeah, we're very grateful to those people who send personally to us, because it helps on our internet, paying the internet and our gasoline. Thank you very much.
Right at the moment, the biggest expense that we have is that every day we really spend virtually the whole day in Taliban. And that is a couple of miles of rough riding down to the main road, and then about, I think, what's the official, 18 kilometers? 18 or 20 kilometers into Taliban. And then we sit in the internet cafe, and while Beth uploads the videos that we've made, I field the comments. So I deal with the comments, and I'm the one that answers the comments. They're getting more and more, and so it's getting more difficult to actually answer them. But anybody that's made a comment that seems to need an answer, I do try my best to do that. So that's that was just a little clarification for you.
Yeah. So that's the total is 412,828.63,
All
and
right,
the
and
expenses
the
of the
expenses
house
on the house
is 73,785.60. There are some says why it's so big. As we told you, the location, the site is very far, and they need to carry in the carabao, carry by hand. So
right. So in other words, it's not one size fits all.
yeah,
These are not, they're not sort of cookie cutter houses. They're all different. They're all special needs, and we don't do any Olympic swimming pools, and we don't do any bowling alleys. They're just houses. Okay. Now, in Nisa's case, Nisa got the most difficult house because we put a toilet in there,
yeah,
which necessitated a septic tank. So a septic tank has to be dug and sealed and connected, plus running water, which came from, wow,
Lizelle.
at least a
The
quarter of a mile away.
Yeah, and the water connections is 31,175 because you're also paying the electric bill.
Well, we paid the electric bill on Liselle's house. Now, Liselle was the lady that was in trouble, had a miscarriage while she was working in the rice fields. We did 2 jobs in one there. We put a pump into the well, which Pastor Timio and his guys actually refurbished. So they went in, cleaned out the well, dug out a little, and then they rendered the whole thing and sealed it. And then they put in an electric pump. And that had to be wired in, had to have an electric cable taking down there to provide the power, a pump which had to be bought, and then all of the pipe work that would take the water and supply Liselle's house, and going further on down the hill and up again to get it to Nisa's house. So Nisa then had running water crossing a public path for her bathroom and for her kitchen. So Nisa's house was probably the most expensive that we've done, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Hers was the most expensive. And it was done on the basis that we thought that she was going to do the operation, which would have meant that she was in a weakened state, not the same as the recipients of the other houses. She would have needed special care, and we wanted to make sure that she didn't have to carry water, because obviously that was going to be very difficult.
Yeah,
we
that's
never
the
did
purpose.
get the power thing sorted out. And just to clarify what may have been misconstrued or misunderstood, nobody took anything out of the house on her declining to go ahead with the operation.
No.
Nobody took anything out of there. We did have Stephen from Hong Kong had said that he wanted to put a whole solar system into the house, and in fact we did get most of the materials for that, which Stephen donated, and that's all stored up at our house now. And what's happened with that is that Stephen has said that when he comes back in April, we'll take all of that uninstalled equipment, and we'll put it into Grandma's house, which will be a nice job. So
Yeah.
Grandma doesn't have any electricity, and now she will get light. So that's the story on that, and why that house is a lot more than anybody else's.
Yeah, and also the other expenses, the medical, the medical expenses going back to Cebu, some ferries, some fees.
Right. So
And
how many
also-
trips? Let's explain how many trips we did.
I think 3 times.
We did 3 trips and that
So there is some.
I didn't go on the last one, did
Yeah,
I?
you
Okay.
didn't go.
And we managed to do that one in one
Yeah.
in one day. The other 2 trips we stayed at a friend's house, and that involved overnight stays.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to go there and take a jeepney anywhere because it just simply isn't time. So it's taxis everywhere.
Yeah. And
And-
then, yeah, so that's very sad, you know, because out of that expenses, we could possibly build another house of that family. You
We
know,
could have
so
built
we're
another
really-
house
we're
with what we spent
disappointed
on
about
that.
it.
But as we've already said, we're breaking our own word here, and we're going into that again,
Yeah.
which we shouldn't be doing. But
Yeah,
anyway, let me finish, honey. Would it be all right if I just
Okay.
speak? Anyway,
Yeah.
if we were able to, we would be, and were able to use that money, would have been able to build a house for somebody. So all's well that ends well. We're out of that now. We've walked away, and right now I'm trying to persuade my dear wife that we should pull out completely. At the moment, what do we have? We have one
donor.
we still have one donor, but people, unfortunately, based on what they saw, declined to contribute. That's their right, just in the same way that it was Nisa's right to say no. That's the people who were going to do things have also said no, and the usual cry for people, donors, would-be donors, saying no is that they want somebody else to have that. So we respect that, and as you know, if you've been following all of our videos, what the person who gifts the money wants to do is what we do. Like in the case of Michael, the diabetic boy, the donor wanted 4,800 pesos pressed into Michael's hands, and everybody knew probably what would happen with that, because the Filipino thing of sharing, and instead of getting his insulin, he probably didn't. And for a little while there, he was being advised by his mum to have the health juice, which was going to take the place of insulin. I'm sorry, but some of these things are funny, you have to admit. That people make up these ideas and put these opinions forward, and they're not based on medical fact, they're just based on opinion. Anyway, we've now got to the point where Michael is just as an offside. Michael is taking his insulin, and we pay for it down at the doctor's clinic, and he just goes down there and gets it. Okay, so some other subscribers have been saying that with President Duterte's plan, that people will be able to go along and get this stuff for nothing. We haven't actually found that that's the case in practice at the moment. Maybe it's not quite instituted yet. So we're hoping that Michael will be able to have his insulin free, and we're hoping that Nisa will be able to have her TB medication free, because even on the that most disappointing interview, she did say that she felt much better with that medication that she's been taking, but we've been paying for that. So my wife wants to continue having something to do with that, whereas I think it would be better if we didn't. We will resolve that in the end, won't we, darling?
Yeah, so let's continue.
Let's continue.
Yeah, so yeah, so the expenses of Nisa, you know, the expenses, the hospital, some laboratory going back there, and some grocery that we
Now, what
get
test?
to her.
Okay, so can we just what did it cost to get the blood? I mean, wasn't that free?
No, we need to. The donors are asking for 2,500. You know.
So
and then
where did we get the donors from?
one of the security guard.
Security guards. And
Yeah,
what
and
happened?
they paid 2,000 pesos for that.
Just tell us what happened with the first security. This is the security guard.
The first that no, it's not a security guard. It's a friend of my brother. friend of my brother, and there's some drug related, so he's not
No,
allowed.
I thought that the first one was a security guard, and he tested he tested positive on drugs.
Yeah, that's the one.
Right, and then the next one that we tried to get along there had a tattoo, and they wouldn't
Yeah.
accept someone with a tattoo, wasn't that?
Yeah, my
what
brother, and
happened?
then my brother just didn't go because I asked the medtech, and he said they're not accepting
They
for
won't
the
accept
tattoo.
somebody with a tattoo.
Yeah.
So then finally we
There's a
got somebody that
garden.
was clean and unmarked, and we had to pay him what?
2,000 pesos for that.
2,000.
2,500, and then I asked, no, just 2,000 pesos. Yeah, so that's how it is. Our expenses for that is all overall, all the expenses on laboratory, going back there, some groceries. Oh my god.
Now,
It's
can we just
62,721.89
sorry?
pesos.
How much was it?
62,721.89 that could possibly help another family.
So
And
why?
the other thing
What?
also is this amount that being used for that, all that process is been those people who send, they work hard for it, so that's a sad part.
Yes. Well, the people who sent that money know how hard that they worked
Yeah.
for it. But just so that you know, in order to be able to take someone, let's leave the names out of it. In order for Beth and I to go, I would get up, and we'd get up about 4 o'clock in the morning, and we'd go down there, and we'd meet the person at the main road, and we would drive to the port. And we drive to the port of Atafi, and we would get in line there for the ferry, and we'd buy a ticket after a long line, and we'd go and sit in a plywood ferry. By the time we got there, we were sitting on the engine every time. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Sitting on the diesel engine. And anyway, we would then, was it 2.5 hours?
Yeah, 2.5 hours.
It's about a 2.5 hour trip over the ocean in a plywood ferry boat with those big bamboo outriggers, which you've seen photographs of that. So that would be it. We'd get to the port, and then we'd have to fight for a taxi among all of the other milling crowds. And then that would get us to the hospital. And then at the hospital, it was all about hurry up and wait.
Yeah.
Okay? So the first place that we went to was the bone
Yeah, the bone
and
center.
joint. Was it bone and joint center?
Yeah.
Where we waited. And we waited for the surgeon to come in.
Yeah.
And that was the first surgeon that we saw. And he was the one that gave us that initial quote, guesstimate of 500,000, wasn't
Yeah.
it? Which we showed on video. Right? So then it's from there to the hospital, more taxis, more waiting around for surgeons to come out of the theatre. It's a busy hospital. So that's what the day is concerned of. And on that particular day, 7 o'clock at night, we were out on the street with nowhere to stay, weren't we?
Yeah. Thanks to that friend who allowed us. Thanks.
So we actually had a friend, Ron, and he put us up, and we got a taxi to his place, and he was very kind, and he put us up.
Yeah, so let's continue. So that's the expenses. Because it's too long video. So we have also some the withdrawal fees. We calculated, right, all the withdrawals fees, because there are some withdrawals every time you withdraw, because Terence is international bank, So the fees for the withdrawal is around 15,750, including the operating cost,
Right, now we're talking about a figure that's over 300,000, and we can only draw 10,000 pesos at a time, and that on each end costs 200 pesos on this end, and they charge at my bank in America as well, and we can only draw 10,000 at a time. Now, if we were to drive for nearly 3 hours, we could go to Tagbilaran, and there they used to allow for the same fees, but for 20,000 withdrawal. But we can't go there because it would cost us 1,000 in gas anyway. So we're stuck with the mediocre services that are available in Taliban, and that's why, work it out, it costs $450 for every 10,000. And what else?
Yeah.
What other fees are there?
That's all.
Okay.
Sa bank, no. So the total expenses, the house, the water connections, and the hospital expense, some medical expenses, and the withdrawals, the transfers. The total is 183,432.49 pesos. Less, if you want to less that the total amount, the total donations, gifts that we receive of 412,828.63.
And what are they for?
Less the expenses of 183,432.49. We have the remaining of 229,396.14.
Now, can you say that a little bit slower?
229,396.14 pesos.
Right, we've been saying that it's 219,000. Well, we've done the math, and that's the figure now that Beth is giving you.
Yeah, so this is what happened in our in the bank. We got 192,542.17 pesos. And then there are money from the PayPal. To all who wants to send through PayPal, let us know, because our Philippine PayPal is not what do you call that? Allowed us to get the money.
It's not working.
Okay, so as I said, we got the remaining of 229,396.14. And then that money, some of that money is been segregated, right? In the bank, we got 192,542.17 pesos. In the Philippine PayPal account that we cannot access yet because we need to comply some certifications, we got there 4,842 pesos. And in GoFundMe, which we still cannot access yet, but we are communicating to them, we got the amount there of 32,011.97 pesos.
Right, now, let me tell you, irrespective of whatever you say,
Yeah.
it has to be explained that the GoFundMe received a complaint, and somebody completely, this is the way that it works, is completely without any evidence at all, just made a complaint and said, we're doubtful that the NISA fundraiser is authentic. And so what happens then is they shut you down, and then they say, well, we require you to tell us the following questions. Answer to the following questions. You need to tell us who you are. You need to tell us about the project, who the money will be paid to, how it will get to the recipient, and these things have to be answered. And they make it extremely difficult to answer these questions. And that's what we're working at right now. Thank you to whoever made that complaint. Yes.
Yeah, so in other words, the 192,542.17 in the bank, we can access that, and to the amount which is in the PayPal and the GoFundMe, we're on the process to
Right. We'll get it. We'll get it, but it'll take time.
Yeah. So, and then Little Bit Rich, who sent gifts of 91,634.40, he says that it will go to the next future project, right?
The next project,
and also,
at our discretion.
Yeah, and also Model, who sent 83,304, who are the major donors. Yeah, so in other words, that from the two of them, we got 174,933 that it's already been approved that will be used in the next future project, right?
Dare I suggest that we tell them something about the project that we're thinking?
Yeah, So the project that we're thinking is the house of Pastor Timio and also the house of Gilbert in Obay, right? Which we're going
Well,
to picture.
actually, and we're going to pay for
Lovely May.
an examination of Lovely May. Lovely May, who you have seen was a very popular video. Lovely May has a long distance relationship. She is the daughter of Pastor Timio, and has discovered
Having a
she has
breasts.
a cyst
Yeah.
in her breast. She's a young woman,
20, 26.
24, isn't she?
No, it's 26 because I'm just ahead 1 year to her.
Okay, so 26. Now, she is up with Marife's mother right now, and coincidentally we're going up there tomorrow to pay the bill for Marife's mother. We advanced some 20,000 last week, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We advanced some 20,000 so that they could pay for the initial thing, the initial expenses, and food and stuff like that, so that they'd be okay. And she's coming out tomorrow. It's been a successful operation, and we're going up there tomorrow, and we'll see her and be very happy to see that she is well. This is a great success, and we're going to pay the bill. So we'll be driving to Tagbilaran tomorrow early, and we're going to pay the bill up there. Okay, so that's what we've got on tomorrow. But also, Lovely May, because of shows that nothing happens by accident, everything happens for a reason, and the fact that this has happened now with Nisa, and everybody clamouring, and everybody has been clamouring, believe me. The messages that we've had have all been saying, give them money, put the money, including the donors are saying, put the money to someone who deserves it. I can't imagine anybody more deserving right now than Lovely May. So we're going up there, and we're hoping that we'll be able to get her in to have an examination tomorrow
And
when we go up there.
it's very long video now.
Okay, it's a very long video now. She's going to sleep, but it's important to tell you that. So that's it. Are we done?
Yeah, so tomorrow is the check-up.
Were you snoring then?
Is the check-up of Lovely May, and then also the projects that are ongoing that in the next week, the house of Pastor Timio, and then also there's a community there down the main road who are asking us if we can make them well.
Well,
And
okay.
also,
Which would serve. This is not anything. This is just someone that came up from the Sari
Yeah.
store, isn't it? That we don't.
because
we
when I
don't actually know them,
I
do
buy
we?
load, the sales lady there says, "Can you help us so that we can have an access of water?" I'm shocked.
Well,
Yeah,
we see them carrying the water. That's why.
Yeah, so and then also the house of Gilbert, Pastor Gilbert and Obay, the singing congregation there. But so far on Pastor Timio's house, we got donations from John of Nova Scotia, Canada, 10,648.29, and Stephen, 4,836 pesos. So start
Great.
on the work.
Okay.
So again, thank you, and
Can you stop now, because this is a very long.
please like, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube channel. And as I says, to those who sent and your name is not been listed or being let us know. Thank you. Bye bye. Good night.
This is a foreigner in the Philippines, and she's going to start snoring any minute, so I better stop. Bye for now.
Bye bye.